talking about the gluten-free diet. I know all of us have heard about so many of our friends saying, oh my God, I'm going to go off gluten and gluten is so bad. And what gluten-free diet really is the elimination of products that have gluten, right? So what are the products, or what are the foods that have gluten? It is wheat, barley, and rye, and not oats per se. They don't inherently have gluten, but they will, if they're manufactured in the same unit as wheat, then it may have some gluten particles, which is why I put oats in brackets. Some activists believe that, you know, wheat is not historically the same as it used to be. That's why it's bad, or it's poison, and it causes inflammation. What the actual truth of the matter is that, or fun facts as I call it, is that gluten is a protein. It's contrary to popular belief, it's a protein that is found in wheat, barley, and rye that causes stomach disturbances only and only to those who have clinically proven gluten sensitivity. It's a condition, or celiac disease, which is a disease or a condition. It's a hereditary condition, and the question now everyone will be asking is, so do I even have celiac disease? How do I even know if I have celiac disease? And the answer to that is you mostly don't have celiac disease. Why? Because the prevalence of celiac disease is so low. It's 1% worldwide, 10 to 20% in India. So the inflammation that it causes in the gut, that you've heard all the time saying gluten causes inflammation, is not to anyone else, but only to these people who have the celiac disease. If, however, you are finding that you find yourself feeling uneasy or queasy after having wheat, barley, rye, then it is a good idea to go to a gastroenterologist or a doctor and get the tests done first before eliminating gluten from your diet. Only the tests are positive, that's when you will eliminate gluten from your diet, or only if the doctor has told you that you have, or the doctor or nutritionist has told you you have gluten specific sensitivity, only then will you have to carefully remove it, because it's a clinical elimination. But it's not, therefore there is a lack of evidence for people in the general population, for its benefits in the general population. There's no evidence, actually, no scientific evidence. It's unnecessarily restrictive. So although you may argue that, okay, you're cutting out the maida and the pasta and everything else, but you're also cutting out whole grain, right? You're also cutting out atta, which is very rich in fiber, good for your health, good for your gut, good for your constipation, good for your bowel movements. It has a lot of vitamins in it, especially B vitamins. And also a really fascinating and fun fact is that obviously, because of this gluten trend, the gluten industry, the gluten-free industry has boomed, but they showed that people who do not have celiac disease are the biggest purchasers of this gluten-free products. And this is obviously because of a fad. So I found that really interesting. Any questions pertaining to this? Okay, wait, I just have a few more slides to go for this. So if the question is that, okay, I don't have celiac disease, but should I still try the gluten-free diet? Will it make me lose weight? It's not healthier. You're not going to, because gluten isn't inherently unhealthy, as we spoke about. We now know that gluten is a protein and it's nothing else. It's not poison. It's a natural part of wheat, barley, rye that exists. And if, by all means, if you find a gluten-free cookie very tasty, go ahead and have it. But you're not morally superior or healthier if you're having a gluten-free cookie rather than a normal cookie. It has the same amount of calories. And it's also a very interesting thing to note that the people who were on a gluten-free diet and thought they were gluten intolerant, once this lockdown started and everyone in the world started baking banana bread for some reason, which has maida in it, or if people are made with atta or whatever, they automatically became tolerant to gluten. Everyone started having baking banana bread. So this was quite funny. It doesn't. It doesn't. It has no role with weight loss at all. If people go on a gluten-free diet, they are possibly reducing the excess consumption of, let's say, maida, or the sugary foods that they were having, or but they're also at the same time lessening their consumption on the whole wheat foods, which are beneficial for you. So it has, that's probably how they're losing weight, but it's not healthy and it's not advisable at all. It has nothing to do with weight loss. So again, it goes back to this narrative of low carbohydrate diet. I feel like if you, instead of gluten-free diet, instead of, if you just start eating a more balanced diet where, like, you're also, which we'll talk about, we talk about how we crowd in our diet with the proteins and the fats and adequately adjust your carbohydrates, it should be fine. You shouldn't have to necessarily go on a gluten-free diet. That is wrong. Protein rich foods. Collagen is a protein. Once you start having adequate amount of protein in your foods, which again we talk about in the solutions as to what to do if we're not following these fat diets, that's how your collagen is the most optimally produced.